Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a kind of battle of the brands, compare contrast with the Sleek Makeup Pout Paints and the OCC Lip Tars. These formulas are kind of similar. They're the same idea in the sense that they both are really pigmented and you use just a tiny bit to get enough to cover your entire lips. And they're also meant to be mixed. I have 5 of the Sleek Makeup Pout Paints, and then I got the similar colors of OCC Lip Tar so I can compare the entire thing. So let's get started. I'm going to start with Peachy Keen. And it's similar one that OCC sells is Cha Cha. So you can see the difference right there. Pout Paint, Peachy Keen is a little bit brighter. It has more of like a bright orange to it, while this one is more of a creamy, it's more muted. And then to talk about the packaging, you can see they're packaged fairly similar on the outside. The Pout Paint is slimmer and this one is a little bit wider. And then there's the back. I think I prefer the black, but I prefer black packaging in general with makeup, and OCC's is more white, even their brushes, everything like that, so it goes with their packaging. When you take off the lids, I definitely have to say that I prefer the packaging on the Pout Paint. So there's the packaging when you take off the lids, and I definitely prefer the Pout Paint because it comes with just a squirt tube, while the OCC one comes with what looks like something that you would apply makeup with. Actually is tilted like a lipstick. This can create a problem because if people don't understand how these work, especially with the lip tars, I've seen this at IMATS a lot when I see the OCC booth, is people will apply it right from the tube to their mouth, and that will get way too much product and it's messy. And a lot of the times that can turn people away from the product because they don't know what they're doing, so they assume that it's just a really crazy, terrible lip product when it's actually amazing. So when the tip of it is like this, you're obviously not going to apply it straight from the tube. You're going to use a brush or your finger. So I think that this is a little bit less misleading, I guess is a good word to describe that, than the OCC one. So then let's see how they wear and apply. So first I'm going to apply the Pout Paint. So I'm just using a little brush, and I'm going to use just that much product. So that's what that looks like. And now I'm going to try OCC Cha Cha. Again, just not very much product. And then there's Cha Cha. So then for the rest of these, I'm just going to do swatches on my hand, and then I will show you full lip swatches on my blog. So here are some comparisons for the colors. The bottom row is Pout Paint, and this top row is OCC Lip Tars. So we have Pout Paint Pinup. This is OCC Not Safe for Work. This is Pout Paint Mauve Over. This is OCC Hoochie. This is Pout Paint Peekaboo with OCC RX. Pout Paint Peachy Keen, OCC Cha Cha. Pout Paint Cloud 9, and OCC Feathered. So one thing you can also see, what I mentioned before with the tips, is I just applied these just right from the tube. I didn't use a brush, and you can see that that's a lot less. These ones are dripping because the amount of lip tar that comes out when you use the applicator is way too much, so that's why I think a lot of people can have troubles with the OCC ones, simply because of the packaging. Something else that happens with OCC lip tars, I'm not sure if this happens with Pout Paint because I haven't had them long enough. I only got the Pout Paints last week, so I'm really not super familiar with them, but with the OCC lip tar, if you leave them in a certain place for an extended period of time, what will happen is, because the formula is so concentrated, it'll actually start to separate. So what will happen is the pigmentation will go to the top and the actual lip gloss, or I think it's their lip gloss, goes to the bottom. And so to reformulate it, it was a little difficult. When I first got these, I was like, how am I supposed to do this? It's too full, I can't knead it. But I asked the owner of OCC and he said you just flip it over or flip it opposite. So if it's laying like this, flip it like this, you know, and the formula within an hour will remix itself. So I don't know if this is a problem with the Pout Paints, but as far as formulation goes, I feel like the Pout Paints are a little bit thicker than the OCC lip tars. Not that that really makes a difference. Both kind of use the whole thing of little goes a long way, and they both do that well, as you saw with the application on my lips. Now, these aren't meant to simply be used alone. Of course you can use them alone, but they're also really good for mixing so that you can create a new color. So for example, if this was a little bit too bright, you could just take a little bit. I'll take a little bit on my hand, so a little bit, and I wanted to lighten it up a little. I could use the white, Cloud 9, just the tiniest bit. That's probably going to be too much. And then take a brush and just take a little bit of that white, just a little bit, and then mix it. And you can see it made it lighter than the original color, which is right there. So lots of ways to play. I mean, I could probably do that with the red and the orange. Let's try that. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this orange, a little bit of the red, and mix them. Almost makes like a melony pink right here. So then I can even, if I wanted that to be a little bit lighter, I could go in with the white again, and then we have a super bubblegum pink. So it's a lot of color theory, and it's a kind of a fun way to learn color theory. I remember when I was working for MAC, one of the color training things that we had was using their lip mix to create an existing lipstick color. So this kind of can be a fun way if there was a limited edition color from some brand, any brand, and you miss it, you can kind of play and try and figure out how to make it yourself. As far as pricing goes and price, the amount you get, this Pout Paint is $8 US and OCC's lip tar is $13. So they're both 0.27 fluid ounces, so 8 milliliters. So it's the same amount of product. This one is a little bit cheaper, $5 cheaper than this one. However, you have to keep in mind that this is a UK-based product, so that could translate to being more with shipping. I'm not sure what the Sleek Makeup shipping is, so something to keep in mind. As far as the winner, I'm not really sure. As like I said, this is kind of a first impressions along with a battle, which I guess isn't really fair. But they both work really well. I do like the packaging on the Sleek Pout Paints more. However, I don't like the range of colors. Their colors are meant for consumers, where the OCC ones are meant for consumers and for pros. As far as color range goes, OCC wins hands down because they have 39 different shades, so you can make any color under the rainbow, while Sleek has 11. So they have 11, and you can see from my little paper, they're definitely all kind of in the same color range as being warm. The only cool color is the purple, where OCC has, you know, green and blue, and they have a lot of different shades. And they have yellow. Yellow would be a nice addition to this. So that's one thing that's kind of a downer. I mean, you can just see from this chart, these are all very similar and would be easy to make with just that color and the white or something like that, you know. So, or maybe having just these three, you could create these shades. So obviously, you know, they're in it because not everyone's gonna wanna mix the colors. OCC does the same thing. They don't need to have 39 shades, but they do because people don't know how to mix them or make their colors. So I definitely like both of them. I do prefer the shade range of OCC, and I do prefer the packaging for the Pout Paints. If you guys have used either ones, let me know. Obviously, you saw from my shade comparisons that the colors that Sleek have, there are definitely some dupes or very close dupes for the OCC, so at least for the 5 that I have. So it's easy to, you know, if you have one, you don't necessarily need the other. But I would definitely recommend checking these out, especially if you live in the UK or you don't have immediate access to OCC and you have access to Sleek. Yeah, so I'll have a link below that'll have pictures of all of the Pout Paints and pictures of all of the OCC lip tar swatches, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!